Good morning. Oh, Sue, I'm sorry to hear that you're not feeling well. Well, I hope you feel better tomorrow. Um, yeah, you know, we're doing this every day or almost every day. You're going to have days where you're not feeling up to it. And that is okay, right? That is part of being aware of what your body is doing and what it needs. That's you know, smart. Take your time when you need to, for sure. Well, I hope you had a good weekend. I got a lot done. Got the ceiling on the porch. Um, it's not, you know, it's not all done, but the pieces are up, and I think that's gonna. There's definitely some gaps that need to be sorted out with trim. Right, trim covers all sins, and I, but I need to get some of them up soon so that nobody decides to get up in there like little birds or anything like that. Because as I was putting the panels up, I realized how it was so nice up there. It was like nice and cozy. It's this little enclosed attic area. So yeah, I don't want anyone to decide that's their winter hangout. But I think I've got probably a couple nice days this week. Um, the weather, it's going to be kind of in the 50s, maybe sunny, not so much rain as we had yesterday, right? Um, and then I'm looking ahead to next weekend. It's supposed to be in the mid 60s. So I don't know. I was joking before about having Thanksgiving on the back porch, but I don't know. I might just I might just do that. We'll see how long this keeps going on. Um, it's it's kind of I don't know. It feels unusual. Maybe it's really not. Although I feel like it's definitely we normally have cooler weather, maybe with a few days like this, but not the majority of days like this. But I don't know. I find that my memory about these things is not all that good. I think all of us tend to think everything that happens is unique and so different than before. But if we could really look back and see, we'd see that maybe it was similar. We're just not remembering it correctly. All right. So for practice today, why don't we just talk a little bit about the breath and focusing on the breath. Um, so in Sanskrit, um, when we talk about breath, we the word they use is prana, which is it does mean breath, but it means a lot more than that. Prana is um, our life force, and in Ayurveda and sort of ancient um, Indian medicine, breath is the life force. It is kind of that thing that connects us, body and spirit and mind. Everything kind of gets um, connected and energized through the breath. The breath is with us from that moment that we're born to the moment that we pass on. Um, we're always aware of our breath, right? If someone's unconscious or something, we're always checking: are they breathing? Are they? The breath is the sign of life. It's the sign that we are still in the body. Um, Even a very shallow breath is still indication, right? Um, that spark is still within. Um, so, I mean, for something we barely think about all day long, it's a pretty important part of who we are and our in our physical structure here on Earth. Um, so we've done various different types of pranayama, different types of breath. Pranayama it means basically like breath work, breath exercises, kind of. And the idea being that when we do different things with the breath, we get different results in the body. Um, so we can heat the body up with certain breaths. We can cool the body down with other types of breath. Um, and there are, breath types of breath that are more conducive to sort of getting into that meditative state. Um, we've done some of them, right, when we're getting ready for meditation. The deep breathing, the breathing in through what they call diaphragmatic breathing. That where the belly is moving a little bit. We're making sure that the breath is coming down rather than being up high in the chest. Um, when I think about breathing high up in the chest, I think that that's just like normal breath, right? And it really isn't. It really shouldn't be, but yet it is for a lot of us because many of us hold so much tension in the body all day long. We have this. You know, I don't know if your mom ever told you, right? Sucking, suck things in. Stand, be upright, and that idea of being upright, it entails a certain muscular, you know, engagement, right? Um, but we don't have to do that, right? That's not a requirement to being upright. Um, One thing I like to do is kind of a practice is to think of your body, think of the form of your skeleton within the body, right? It's kind of a weird thought, right? But if you think about your skeleton is your support structure. So you've got this very sturdy um, structure inside your body. You don't need to hold everything on the outside so tight. That inside is already supporting you. And the more you can kind of think about your inner support, you don't need that outer support so much. Um, and I think a nice practice for that is if you're sitting, kind of close the eyes and think of the shoulders and your spine as kind of like a T, right? It's sort of a T. And the neck and the head are sort of setting on top of that. Then visualize the muscles kind of laying over top of that, just kind of draping over that T structure. And then, the skin and the flesh is all over that as well, right? But it's being held up by that skeletal structure, and it's very strong. It's not moving, it's not bending, it's not getting worn out or tired like the muscles will. It's just that's its job. It's just a nice hard structure. Like another way sometimes I visualize it is like if you think of like a clothes rack, right? So those clothes racks with the wheels on the bottom. It's that bar, and then you hang hangers on there, and your clothes hang on there. It's the same kind of thing, right? You don't worry about that That clothes rack getting tired or breaking down or whatever, it just holds. That's its job. So our structure within is that way as well. Um, it's strong. It's built to do this. So we can relax on the outside. We can let that inner structure do its job. We don't have to hold tight. We can relax and breathe. So when we think about that, holding our body up, holding our body together, you can see, right? There's lots of room to expand, to breathe, right? We're already holding up. Let the rest of the body relax, relaxing the chest, the back. Feel the body expand. So then as we move through practice, keep that structure in mind. Right? Our body, that skeleton structure will keep us in our poses. Um, we can rely on that, right? And think about that really lifting you up so that the rest of the body can be slightly more relaxed. Um, there are times, there's certain poses. So when we are coming up from like wide-legged pose, and I'll say like engage the thighs, right? Use that strength in the legs to help lift you up. Um, and you can do that, right? But you don't need to keep those legs engaged the whole time, right? That's a cue to do that. But then you can relax when you're standing upright again because we've got that inner structure holding us up. So I find that if I'm not focusing on that, sometimes I can be very tight through the whole practice, right? I'm holding my body so rigidly. See if that's happening for you. If you feel like that, like your body starts to get rigid, like you're starting to clench your jaw or, you know, tighten up through the shoulders. Notice those things as you are moving through practice. See if you can let that go um, and see how that feels. Okay. So sitting up tall here, feel how the body is kind of draped over that inner structure. I like thinking about this inner bone structure because I think it's helpful then to be reminded of how much of our strength is within. We don't need to be hard on the outside. We don't need to tense up and be uh, so guarded, and you don't have to build these big walls against the world. We have our strength within. So we can relax on the outside. We can let things be and not always be so thinking we have to build something on the outside. We want to work on what's within, keep that structure within, um, nice and strong. Drop the chin, and let's just let the head hang down. Keep breathing. Back up and lift the chin. Back to center. Take a breath in and then lower the head over to the right. My neck feels tight today, so I'm not actually gonna go that far. It's okay. Just go to where things, feel normal and natural for you. Don't try to force your neck in any direction. And then back up to center. Walk the hands out in front. And then hands behind you, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Gaze up. And then back to your seat, arms wide. Take a deep breath in, and then on the exhale, hands come to center. Inhale, arms wide. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Interlace the fingers, lift the hands, we're gazing up. And then arms down by your side. Inhale, lift. Lower. Lift. And lower. Once more. Lifting up. And then right arm down by your side, reach across with the left. Switch sides. And then back up. Let's walk the hands out again. And hands back behind. Sitting back up, right hand on left knee, left arm behind you, sit up tall, deep breath, and then twist. Back to center, switch sides. And back to center. Tabletop. Sitting back on the heels. Moving back up. Let's loosen up here with the spine a little bit with cat-cow. Inhales and exhales. And then back. Child's pose. Maybe bring the knees a little wider than you normally do. Or if you normally have very wide knees, bring them in a little closer. Just try something different today. And moving back up. Let's swing the right leg around. Coming up on that left knee, arms overhead. And then hands to center. Take a breath and a twist. You can hook the elbow here or stay more upright if you feel like that's the best thing. I like being more upright. It just feels a little more stable for my spine than being stretched over. But there's nothing wrong with that. If you like hooking your elbow, then feels good, then that's good. Back to center. Right hand down by the foot. And then lift the left. Both hands down to the mat. We'll walk the hands out a little, finding a good position for. You can have the back foot flat, top of the foot flat on the mat, or you can curl the toes. It really depends on how that feels for you. And then let's walk the hands back, extending the right leg, and then maybe folding over. Set the foot down. We'll swing that leg back into child's pose again. Maybe stack the fists here and rest your forehead. Back up. Tabletop and swing the left leg around. Arms up overhead. Hands to center. Take a breath in and then twist. Back to center. Left hand down by the foot. Lift the right. And then both hands down. Walking out a little into lizard. Walking the hands back. We're stretching out the left leg and then folding over, maybe. And then swing that leg around. And we're back into child's pose. You can stack the fists here and rest the forehead, or you could just bring the arms by your side. And then coming back up, we're going to come to a seat on the mat. Feet together, pressing the knees down toward the mat. Deep breath in, fold forward. Focus on the breath. Are you allowing that body relaxation so that you can feel some movement with the breath? Relaxing the sides, the body, the shoulders. Make sure you're not clenching your jaw. If you find you clenching your jaw through practice, or really any time, I clench my jaw sometimes when I'm sleeping. My dentist has told me this. And I know I do it when I'm driving, if I'm in kind of a tense driving situation. So a little trick for this is, if you find yourself in that position or situation where you are kind of clenching up. Take the tip of your tongue behind the back of your front teeth. Just rest it there. So having that there makes it impossible for the teeth to clench without squeezing the tongue. So it's kind of a like a little biofeedback, right? So it lets you know when your jaw is starting to get tense. And you certainly don't need to do that all the time. But if you're in a, when I'm driving, sometimes I do that just to make sure that I'm not getting so tense. Or notice, so I can notice when I do start to feel tense, right? We need to find these little things about ourselves, and then be able to hopefully notice when it's happening before it gets to the point where, you're starting to feel bad or things have tensed up a lot. Find those little physical clues. Some people can tell, by the way, their breathing is, right? Their breathing starts to get more shallow. Some people can tell they'll start to have like a stomach ache or other sort of clues that things are starting to not be okay in the body. So when you notice those things, when you're more aware of what's going on with the body, then you have the chance to kind of head things off of the paths before you're really in this sort of full-blown situation that is very hard to come back from. Extend the legs out in front. Arms lift overhead and then fold forward. Coming back up, let's bring the legs wide. Sitting up tall, take a deep breath, and then you walk the hands out in front. You could bring them out onto the legs. We're just leaning forward. Leading with the chest again, so keeping that nice flat back. And just going to the place where things start tightening up. Right? We don't want to have things too tight, right? We're not looking for any pain here, but just that sensation of stretching. Back up. Bring the legs maybe the width of the mat. Lean forward here. And back up, bend the right knee. Have that next to the thigh. We're going to turn slightly so we're facing the left leg. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, we're folding. Moving back up. Switch your legs. Turning to face. Deep breath in, fold forward. And moving back up. Both legs out in front. Deep breath in and fold forward. And moving back up, let's point and flex the feet. And then going around in circles. One way and the other. Bend the knees. And find a place with some room behind. Lowering down onto your mat. Get comfortable here. And then we're going to hug that right leg in. Left leg extends long. Lowering that right knee out to the side. And then coming across. And then extend back down. Left leg comes in. Right leg is long. Lowering out to the side. And back to center. Drawing it across the body. Rolling up on that right hip. Back to center and then extend. Both legs long. Take a few breaths. Maybe bring the arms up over your head. Let's bring the arms out to a T and legs a little wider on the mat, 5-pointed star, palms facing up. Notice your breath here. Feel that abdominal area rising and falling. And then bring everything back to center. We're going to set up for supported bridge. Get your block or whatever you're going to use. You can also do regular bridge if you want, but we're going to be here for a little bit, so you might want to get your block. If sometimes the block is out of reach and you're like, maybe I'll just skip it. Maybe you want to get it this time. I don't know. Lifting up. Find a good place for the block. And then just get comfortable here. You can always do, different things if you want to bring the knees into the chest or extend the legs up. Extend the legs long here. Lots of different things you can experiment with, see how that feels. But you can also just stay here and breathe. This is another one where we can be very conscious of how the breath is moving. Hopefully lower in the body. So then lifting up. Rest back down, soles of the feet together, knees apart. Take a few breaths. And then bring the knees to center. Hug them in here, rock side to side. And then arms to a T or goalpost arms. We'll start lowering both knees over to the right. And then over to the left. Back to center, hands by your side, extend the legs straight up. And then lowering down. However you want to do that is good. And then just find a place where you feel comfortable. So breathe here, relax. Let the breath be steadying for you. So focusing on the breath is a great practice for keeping you in the moment. Each breath is its own unique experience. It comes and it goes. It is never the same from one moment to the next. So when we are focused on the breath, we are truly experiencing something that is at this moment. It's a great way to get yourself out of your head, out of your thoughts, back into the body. If you have experiences like that where you feel like you're feeling kind of spacey or kind of out there, like maybe you've just been doing a lot of mental work, or you've been thinking about a lot of things and you're just feeling kind of detached from reality or from your body, come back to the breath. It will anchor you, it brings you back. It's also a great tool for meditation, right? That when we say let go of your thoughts, get out of your head, because right, the thoughts are very distracting and they will want to kind of suck up all of that good meditation time with just thinking about different things. letting go of that can be hard if you don't have something to take its place. So the breath is a great thing to take that place. Just focusing inhales, exhales. Moving then a little, just getting the body moving, and then making your way up to a seat. We can bring hands together, breath in and out. Thank you for taking time this morning to come to your mat and to share yoga with me. I hope you have a very good Monday. Namaste. Okay, I'm going to move right into some meditation. Sitting up tall. I'm going to focus on my breath for this meditation. Following it as it goes in and out of the body. Close your eyes. Find that comfortable breath. Okay, coming back to awareness, opening the eyes, breathe. Okay, well, there is some yoga and meditation for your day, and I hope that you have a pleasant Monday. I'll be back tomorrow.